Good morning, everyone. I hope that you had a nice 4-day weekend and you are refreshed and ready to jump into second quarter. So today we're going to be starting with our word parts. So you're going to want to go to your Google Drive. You can either search for your word parts notes, or you can look in your English 1 folder to find your word parts notes sheet that we started. I know it's been a few weeks now since we've worked on this because we didn't do bell work last week, but you should have an English 1 or a pre-AP English 1 folder, and you should have something that looks like this, word parts notes. And again, you could just type that into the search bar in Google Drive and it would pull up. So as a reminder, you're just writing down the word part, the definition of that word part, and then jotting down the sample words. You do not have to write down the definitions of those words unless you really feel compelled to. Feel free to pause the video to copy these down if you need to, and then we will continue to work with them. This will be the start of Unit 2 of our word parts. So our first one, let me get to the right slide here, is a and an, and these mean not or without. So we've already seen several prefixes that mean similar things, like in, ill, im, ear, can mean not, but a and an can as well. So amoral means without morals. Anesthetic is something that removes feelings, right? So it's without feeling. Apolitical, if someone says that they're apolitical, it means that they are not political. They don't get involved in politics. And then asocial would be someone who is not social, right? Someone who doesn't participate in social events. And again, if I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause the video and then resume when you're ready. Next, we have equi and equi. These mean equal, so just they look very similar to their meaning. So you have equalize, which means to make equal. You have equitable, which is an adjective that means fair or equal. And then you have equation. So an equation is a statement that two values are equal. So if you think about in math, like 2 + 2 = 4, right? So that is an equation, and it is stating that what is on one side of the equal sign is the same amount as the other side of the equal sign, which is true, right? 2 and 2 = 4. All right, next one. Mono. So mono means one, alone, or single. So if you have a monopoly, that is where you have sole ownership of an industry or a company. You'll learn probably later this year in American history about the monopolies and the steel and the oil industries in the 1800s in America. Monotone means one note. Okay, so if someone speaks in a monotone voice, they don't change it at all. It's one level, one note. Monologue is a speech by one person, so we will actually get to some monologues and some soliloquies, actually, which is a type of monologue when we get into Romeo and Juliet. Okay, next we are moving on to a set of root words, actually. So this is cap, capt, sip, sept, and sieve. And these all mean to take, to hold, or to seize. So for example, captive is one who is being held. So that has this capt right here. Then you have receive, which means to take, right? So if you're receiving something, you're taking it from someone. So that's this sieve here. Capable is able to take hold of things. So you've got the cap, right here. And, capable, it's like you're able to do something, but that can, if you think about the meaning, it's like you're able to get a hold on things, right? If you're able to do something. And then you've got recipient. So you've got the sip right here in the center, one who takes hold or receives. So again, cap, capt, sip, sept, and sieve. And then lastly, we have a set of suffixes. ant, or, and this denotes one who. So when you see this at the end of a word, you're going to assume that it means one who does whatever the beginning of the word is. So maybe it's a root word, or maybe it's a prefix and a root word, but it's one who does whatever that thing is. Okay, so for example, an occupant is one who occupies, right? It's the person who maybe lives there or who occupies an office or something like that. Respondent, one who responds or answers. Teacher, one who teaches, right? You could go on and on and on with these examples. So ant, and or mean one who, one who does blank, depending on what your root word or your prefixes are. So those are the word parts that we are going to look at this week. Make sure that you have them copied into this word chart here, and then we will continue to work with them as the week goes on. Okay, moving along in our agenda for today, you're going to complete your journal. So if you go ahead and click on that link. Just like we've been doing with our other mythology journals, you're going to watch a short video and then respond to a prompt. This video is actually everything that you need to know to read the Odyssey, which we are going to be looking at an excerpt from that epic poem today. And so this just kind of gives a little background and a little context about how the story was passed down, what the basic premise of the story is, and so on. So after you watch the video, you are going to address this question. The stories of the Odyssey originally gained popularity through social gatherings in which people listened to rhapsodes recite the poem aloud. What types of entertainment unite us in similar ways today, and which common stories create the fabric of our culture in the ways that the stories of Homer did for the ancient Greeks? So you're just kind of thinking about, this was like their main form of entertainment. So you're kind of thinking about what types of entertainment bring us together today. And when it refers to which common stories create the fabric of our culture, that's basically just talking about like, what are those stories that everyone knows? The stories that everyone has heard of, everyone is familiar with. Those are the kind of stories that we're talking about there. Okay, so the next up, you're going to actually dive into the Odyssey. We are going to be looking at the Cyclops section of the Odyssey, which actually takes place towards the beginning of the epic poem. As you saw in the video, it's 24 books long, so we are obviously not reading the entire thing. That would take us much, much longer than we have. So what you'll be doing is you will be doing an Edpuzzle, and if you haven't done one of these before, it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to click play right here. And the video is going to play, and every time you see one of these little dots, it's going to stop and either give you more information or ask you a question. You answer the questions. They are multiple choice, most of them, and then you will get a score at the end when you're all finished. You can redo this if you are not happy with your score. You just need to email me and I can reset your progress. One nice thing is that if you reach a question and you realize that you didn't hear the answer, you can rewatch just the section that you have that you had watched. You don't have to go back and rewatch the entire thing. So let's say you're on, let's say like this question here, and you need to rewatch it. It'll just rewatch the section from the previous question to the current question, not the entire thing. So as you can see, this is a little bit long, so feel free to stop and take a break if you need to. I really like this one because it stops and goes through a lot and gives a lot of good context and a lot of good information and a lot of good explanation about what is going on, because this is a very different type of text from the short stories that we have been reading so far. Finally, the last thing I wanted to point out is that Article of the Week 6 is posted and it is due on Friday. This Article of the Week deals with the Electoral College, which is timely considering that we have a national election coming up on Tuesday. So that Article of the Week is posted and you should do it sometime before Friday. There are video directions that are linked on there if you need more instruction or more hints on what to do. And then I also have listed here just a few of the recent assignments that we've done to just double check that you have turned them in. If you have any questions, the Zoom link is here for question and answer, or you can send me an email or send me a message on Canvas inbox. I hope that you all have an awesome day.